I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, like, if I had that job, I'd be trying to find every excuse to, like, sneak, like, death metal and shit in there.
Oh, don't even get me started. I would definitely do that.
Man, viewership would drop so fast if it was just like the death metal intro to Raw. Parents would be escorting their children from the room. Like, I don't know what this is, but Satan has taken over. Welcome, cats and kittens, or should I say welcome back. It has been long, grueling, anguish you've been feeling in your soul as we have been gone for months and months at a time, but we are finally back, and we have dropped the 5,000 from our name and are now simply Cewshcast. But it's the same crew. It's me, Cewsh, Artie, and Julius. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hey, what's going on, guys? And girls, too.
Some girls,
don't
yeah.
listen to this.
I mean, do any of our girlfriends and wives have they ever heard it?
Mine has listened a couple of times.
I think my wife did, but only grudgingly. And I think for Artie, I think you're the only one that she actually liked.
Yeah, I could sense that too. I think really she just kind of like despises both of us. So
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Okay, but it's an exciting new era for the Cewshcast. We are finally getting back to doing what we do best, which is natter on endlessly about wrestling topics. Obviously, we have missed so much shit in the world of wrestling. I couldn't even I couldn't even begin to go into the 9 million things that we missed. We're not going to try to catch up and cover all that shit. Maybe we'll get to it down the road. What we're actually going to do is we're going to do a state of the wrestling universe today. We're going to talk about all the big companies. We're going to talk about WWE, New Japan, TNA, if you still consider them one of those, Lucha Underground, and then some of the indies. And we're just going to kind of talk about some of the bigger picture topics that are going on all around the world. Before we get started with that, is there anything that you guys want to say, just shortly, I guess, about what happened while we were gone?
Okay, so here's what's happened in wrestling. Okay? Everybody got hurt at the end.
Oh my God, everybody got hurt.
Everybody. All of the bodies hurt.
WrestleMania is just going to be like a bunch of rookies that they just throw in there for blood sport.
Oh,
They should
I
just
didn't tell
make
you
an
that?
NXT WrestleMania.
I didn't tell you that. The three of us are entered in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Oh shit.
The other participants are hyenas, aren't they?
Yeah. We're actually just in there to get tossed out by the Big Show.
Is that worth it? What's the payday like?
About 42 cents.
Hey, it's 42 times what we make this show.
I'm pretty sure 42 times 0 is still 0.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's an even greater number.
Yeah, killing it. All right, so speaking of WWE and maybe a little bit about WrestleMania, let's start with them because they just had Royal Rumble, which I actually like, but we'll kind of get to some of you guys' feelings on that show and WWE in general in a second. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that's been going on. There's all sorts of people getting signed and debuting and all sorts of shit. But let's first kind of let's not get into the minutia of the Royal Rumble, but more specifically, Triple H, now the WWE champion, Roman Reigns clearly in line to face him at WrestleMania. What do you think about the direction of that main event feud heading into the big show?
You know, I've been calling this one for at least a couple of months. I think it's not the most exciting main event, but it might be the most necessary main event because Roman Reigns needs to go into WrestleMania with a big heel challenger, which might be Triple H, but I'm also a little weary because they've butchered Roman Reigns' booking so badly over the last 6 weeks. And the fact that he's going to beat his best friend and Ohio native in Cleveland in a couple of weeks to get to that main event at WrestleMania, he's going in as the heel, which means Triple H might be the face or the heel, which means we could quite possibly see WrestleMania 25 all over again.
You know, I think the match itself is something that a lot of people wanted to happen, but the biggest thing that seems to be like, the constant complaint from most people, other than like irrational assholes, is that they booked Roman Reigns into a corner, and it's like they're trying so hard to make him legitimately over as a good guy with the crowd. And the thing is that Reigns gets a pretty strong reaction these days. It's not as if he doesn't get a positive reaction from anyone. It's just very Cena-like, only not... It's happened before he was fully established even, So, like, it's just... You don't really know how this main event is going to turn out, but they don't have much other choice because, honestly, they probably shouldn't have had Reigns win the belt so late and then lose it so quickly, but having him lose in the Royal Rumble, win in the Royal Rumble, could have had some very, very bad booking implications. And it's just a matter of trying to find the best way to either salvage this Roman Reigns babyface run, which they did a great job of actually getting him over, despite all the silly shit they did back on that Raw when he won the title and all the shit surrounding that. But I don't know, like, it's one of those things where everyone says, should they turn Roman Reigns heel? But at this point, it's like, I think go all the way through with this babyface thing, and if they can't do it by WrestleMania, and if people still hate him, they should just pull that trigger instead of trying so hard to go against, what the crowd at least would be more accepting to.
See, I honestly think too much has been made of this whole Roman Reigns is actually the heel in this feud thing. I've seen that in Roman before, like back when they first started butchering his whole rise to the top, like several months ago. But at this point, I really don't see that from the feud. There's no way that any human being can see Triple H as being the redeeming human being in this feud. Not that that'll stop people from cheering for him anyway, because what they really don't want is Roman Reigns, which is understandable. It's not everybody, but I know there are some people who have kind of compared it to when John Cena went up against Triple H and everyone cheered the shit out of Triple H. And it's not really the same because I don't think Roman Reigns has the same level of a fan base as Cena had at that point. So even though he was being booed, there were still enough people really, really supporting him that it didn't really matter in the long run. On Raw the next night, he got cheered. It is what it is. Roman Reigns is going to find that fan base, and I think people really need to get rid of the fucking idea that by booing this, they're going to stop it. I said it on Twitter a long time ago, like, you can cheer somebody and get them to get pushed, but you don't convince WWE not to push people by booing them. It just doesn't happen that way. They don't give a shit. They're just going to do it anyway.
The thing is, the fans already changed a WrestleMania main event once. And I think the idea is that if we boo Roman Reigns hard enough, we'll change it again. But the problem is the hatred isn't for Reigns himself, because I think we can all agree Roman Reigns is a phenomenal ring worker at this point.
Oh, hell yeah.
The guy has some charisma. I mean, his mic work isn't bad when he isn't being fed garbage lines. His ring work is superb. He's honestly one of my favorites to watch on the main roster. The booking is what's getting him. People are scared of another John Cena. They think, we're going to be stuck with this guy as our top babyface for 10 years. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm the kind of person, I don't like being told what to do. And apparently, most of the fans don't either. And they don't like being told, this is your guy, this is who you're going to cheer for, fucking deal with it. And that's what's hurting Roman Reigns. And unfortunately for Reigns, and unfortunately for the fans, the WWE is going to continue to push him at that level, and the fans will continue to boo him at this level. And it's creating a disconnect, I feel, when the casual viewer tunes in, and they're like, wait, I thought this was the good guy. Why are they booing him and cheering the old guy who screwed him out of the title? It's going to create, I think, a disconnect and overall hurt the product for the casual viewer trying to just tune in, and they're tuning in or seeing this, and they're like, what the fuck?
Right. It is interesting that we're kind of covering the same ground that we covered with Cena, like, ever so long ago. I don't think there's any doubt that they're trying to do with Reigns what they did with Cena before, and I kind of see the point of it. Like, you mentioned when the fans got a new WrestleMania main event happened, it was Daniel Bryan. What happened after that?
Exactly. Bryan got injured and went away. And the hope with Roman Reigns is, like John, he'll be a consistent top babyface for 10 years, just like they did with Hogan. And they want the same thing because, remember, after Hogan, main eventers came and went, dude. You had Warrior, Luger, Hart, Michaels, Diesel. All these guys show up, but none of them had that Hogan run. And then look, Austin and The Rock, as amazing as they were, what was each guy's run at the top? 3 years. You know? They're trying to create that long-lasting superstar. And unfortunately, it's so blatantly obvious with everything they've put into Roman Reigns, putting, feeding him the biggest, baddest on the roster, giving him the Shield music, the Shield attire, making him the main event of like 14 consecutive pay-per-views. The fans see right through it, and they're going to boo it. They're going to resist, and I feel like it's hurting Roman Reigns' chances. Because when they do something natural with him, like leading to that Raw title win, the fans loved it. And I think that's the problem, like with WWE. When something's good, they beat you over the fucking head with it, and they don't let you just, like, absorb it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And there's a lot that can be taken from that, and obviously that there's a lot of people who are out there complaining about it. But one thing that I don't think anybody that I've seen is complaining about is the other thing that happened at the Royal Rumble, and that was the debut of, I believe, Alan James Styles.
Oh, AJ Lee came back.
Yeah, AJ Lee. Wait, no. About as tall and thick, but definitely not AJ Lee.
Joey Styles. Joey Styles showed up.
Joey Styles, famous announcer. Oh, wait, no, he didn't have glasses on. Shit. Who is this jabroni? Does anybody know?
Guys, I think, now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it was Danny Davis.
Dangerous Danny Davis?
Oh, Danny Davis. Was it Danny Davis? Oh, no, I know who he was. It's WCW jobber, Air Styles.
Oh, Air Styles, that's right. I think I
Right?
saw him on, like, Jacked one time or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he lost to John Cena.
Oh, yeah. Everybody does eventually. All right, but in all seriousness, AJ Styles debuts with his wacky new church rap music, and he comes out, goes toe-to-toe with Roman Reigns, looks like $1 million, and now he's fully on the roster feuding with Chris Jericho in the Smark Wet Dream of 2006. Thoughts on not only his debut, but where you think he kind of fits in? The Jericho fit seems kind of weird to me, and I hated their match on Raw, but I don't really know where that's going.
Okay, the debut was great. I mean, the camera work, obviously, they fucked up.
Yeah, that was terrible.
They fucked up. But the song is great. The presentation has been great. I think JBL, melted my heart when he said, he's a former IWGP champion, just like Brock. And you're like, oh.
Love it.
That's amazing. I think they've handled him well. He's had great matches so far. He's getting to beat all kinds of people. The thing is, I don't think the Jericho thing is the long-term feud. I think the Jericho thing is just holding Jericho off until he can get to Ambrose at Mania. And I still think we're going to see Styles Owens leading into WrestleMania. And, I mean, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, that's got to be a good match, right?
Oh, hell yeah, I hope so. I can't imagine Owen Styles not being, one of the better matches at WrestleMania, low-key. I just feel like that's what I'd personally like to see. I think a Styles-Jericho feud, if they went all the way down to WrestleMania, I think could be all right if they developed it right. I liked their match on Raw. I didn't think it was spectacular like everyone else seemed to. Obviously, Cewsh didn't like it at all. But ultimately, I'm glad. It's so weird seeing AJ Styles in WWE. It's he's just on screen. And his name comes up on the nameplate, and it's all so casual, just hey, it's AJ Styles, and it's just almost like you're in a fever dream. This isn't actually happening, and that's one thing that overall with WWE and NXT right now that I'm loving is just this weird world where you're seeing things that you always kind of like dreamed of seeing or said could never happen. You're just like seeing like, you know, things like Austin Aries debuting at an NXT taping and signing, you know, a contract, and it's like his full name, and he's got a T-shirt out and all that stuff. And it's like same thing with AJ Styles, and like Samoa Joe still got his name. It just makes you think like, where does it end? What does it lead to? And are we going to see like AJ Styles just be floundered? So far, I thought they booked him well. Like I said, I think the Jericho Styles thing is all right so far. Nothing spectacular, but something that's like, you know, it's a decent filler until they decide what the hell they want to do with him. But just in general, the fact that Styles is in WWE has me so stoked. Even though some of the booking across the board is weird, it's just one of those things that is going to keep me watching, even if I have to sift through some shit to get to this awesomeness.
The thing that makes me worry about Styles is when he came out in the Rumble, they treated him like they haven't treated a new signing since, I think, Goldberg. They treated him like a major free agent that they had gotten and were highlighting and was going to jump straight to the main event right away. He went toe-to-toe with the champion. He was a big goddamn deal. And then the next night, they kind of went back on that. Not fully. They still made him seem like a big deal. But the problem with AJ is that he's such a good worker. He's going to be really easy to push to the side. It's going to be really easy to be like, all right, we need to highlight fucking Dean Ambrose right now, but AJ will be just fine if we have him in a feud with Neville. You know what I mean? Like, they're never going to have a reason to push him to the main event in order to get something out of him. He's just going to be that way. So,
you know, I think that the reason why he kind of got pushed aside is because I think he was a last-minute signing, and he wasn't fit into the WrestleMania plans already, whereas you can tell they'd already had Triple H versus Roman Reigns sitting in the back pocket. You know? So I think that Styles was signed like right at the end of the year or something, and they basically said, well, we're going to give him something to do at Mania. Maybe he'll be in the main event by SummerSlam.
I mean, maybe it's just with WWE, if you lose momentum, you tend to fall by the wayside. And I am worried that may happen to him because, like I said, it's easy to push him on the back burner and wait, and then that sort of thing never comes. Like, there's a lot of guys who that happened to, and their push just never really materialized. I don't know about like this, though. I would like to correct myself. Not since Goldberg. I think Sin Cara is probably the last major free agent they treated like one.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, and speaking of major free agents, they signed another one who has not debuted yet. For fuck's sake, speaking of fever dreams, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to debut in WWE. I don't even know what to make of my life with this.
Even if it were to happen right now in the beginning of 2016, just after Wrestle Kingdom, when him and AJ Styles had an excellent match. Like again, it's one of those things. It's not as crazy because we haven't physically seen it, and it's not like a realization, like it's not reality yet. But I don't know what I'm gonna do when I see Nakamura on like NXT television or network broadcasting, whatever the hell you would call it. Like, it's just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to say about it other than it's fucking awesome.
Nakamura versus Sami El Generico Zayn on a major WWE show, WrestleMania weekend on the WWE Network for $9.99. I don't know about you guys, but that certainly gets my money. And I think that would make money pretty much fucking anywhere. And 3 or 4 years ago, if you told me that El Generico and Shinsuke Nakamura were going to wrestle in WWE's developmental, which will be packing out an arena in Texas on WrestleMania weekend, I'm pretty sure any one of us would have told that person that they're very much smoking some really good crack. Like, it blows my mind. We're getting to the point where I don't even believe half this shit's happening. Like, oh, Austin Aries showed up on NXT, and I'm like, yeah? Did he? I don't know. Like, everybody's at NXT now.
They literally have like the full Ring of Honor roster from like 2004.
And the full, almost all of TNA guys too. Like, yeah. It's insane to me.
Roderick Strong's just waiting by the phone.
Oh, good God! Please never. Please never.
All right. So, any guesses as to Shinsuke Nakamura's WWE name? Because he may be a big enough name to get to keep his, but it's such a Japanese name that I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think they just cut it down to Nakamura.
Yeah, I think that'd be the best way because then you don't have to worry about people pronouncing Shinsuke wrong. And I think Nakamura for like, I guess Kenta was as simple as you could get, and they wanted to change that. But that was also just before they like done this whole letting people keep their name thing. I think Nakamura works though because that's easy to say. It stands out. It's a powerful sounding name. You know, like I think they'd be smart keeping him with some variation of his name now as opposed to trying to come up with something new. I just can't imagine it like having that same doesn't like roll off the tongue the same way.
You know, the good one that I saw on like one of those Facebook parody memes type things said newest NXT superstar Nikki Morrow. It's close enough. I'd like that.
Yeah, I can see that. The one I saw said it was like Shinny K Naka, and I was like, oh god. Okay, WWE topics. There is a little one that I kind of wanted to bring up since we're talking about so many free agents signing, and it's so weird because normally this is all the topics of conversation that comes after WrestleMania. Like that's when they tend to debut these guys, and it seems like they're really using it to hype up the run-up to WrestleMania this time. But I guess Ric Flair, the word is that he's trying very, very hard to get Jay Lethal signed with WWE. Do you guys think Jay Lethal would be a good fit there?
Well, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Jay Lethal was kind of one of my favorite wrestlers of 2015. Easily in my top 5. I love Jay Lethal. The problem is Jay Lethal is about 5'2" and I think 12 pounds. I don't think he's a good fit to be going from top of the card Ring of Honor, guaranteed contract. It's pretty decent money, man. It's a good living for a guy who's been in the industry this long. He's not struggling. Let's say that. To come here and start over, and I mean really have to start over, I think he has a much bigger challenge than guys like Joe and Styles and Nakamura, who've been the top guys in TNA, who've been the top guys in New Japan. Yeah, Jay Lethal's the top guy in Ring of Honor, but that doesn't place him on the same top level of audience reach that the other promotions do, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And I think that he'd be coming in with a huge chip on his shoulder, and I kind of just don't want to see it. Like, I'm happy with where he is now, and I've got no problems with it.
Yeah, obviously I'd been a fan of Lethal for a while now. I didn't like him much when he first started out, or at least when I first saw him, because I saw him first when he was in TNA. Didn't care for the Black Machismo stuff other than thinking it was entertaining at times. But, you can ask Cewsh all about it. When he started having that feud with Ciampa for the television title back in, 2012, I think, I was all about Jay Lethal. And
you wouldn't shut up about Jay Lethal. Oh, my gosh.
No, I could not. And I love where he's evolved to. I love his character. I love his in-ring work. But I have to agree with Artie. I don't know. If it did happen, obviously I'd be in support of it, and I'd love for them to do whatever they can. But it's just he's one of those guys that no matter how ridiculously talented he is, doesn't stand out. He stands out in Ring of Honor, I think, for sure. But with all the talent, especially right now that they have in WWE, filling up the ranks, I can't imagine him having a priority of, being a prominent star there. And it doesn't, like Artie said, it just doesn't seem like it would fit. Now, that's not saying that I don't think he's talented enough to do it. I think he could pull it off. It's just a matter of whether WWE would care enough to want to pull it off, and whether, other people, say, Owens or Zayn or someone like that is going to just completely shoot over him and ruin his spot while he's still in his prime.
And nothing else, he'd damn sure have to change his finisher, because there's no way he's doing a handspring RKO in the WWE.
No, God, no.
What might be a good fit for him, and then which actually kind of brings me to NXT, is I guess it was just announced that they're going to do maybe like a cruiserweight something. Guess that it's kind of been like thrown around backstage for a little while, but I guess they might be doing something like that, and they definitely have the talent for it now. I mean, between Sami Zayn and Austin Aries, and they can pretty much get anybody on the indies they want. Like, who do you want to see come back to this? Are you jonesing for like a Paul London return, or is there who out there could really make their name through something like this?
You know, I think from what I've heard, it's going to be like a tournament, probably like similar to like the
Super J
Best
Cup,
of Super
sort of
Juniors
thing.
or the J Cup type.
No, that
thing.
makes sense.
And I think the idea should be, I mean, you've already got Austin Aries under contract. You've got Rich Swann, who is coming up, right? Who else is down in NXT? You got Sami Zayn still, although he's bulked up a lot lately. But if you're going to grab guys from the indies, and I think the idea is supposedly being floated around online is 205 and under, now that, you know, cruiserweights are so much, now that everyone's so much smaller in the industry, 205
Right.
is more applicable as a weight. I don't think you could see anyone from Ring of Honor showing up, or anyone even remotely involved with TNA.
Trevor Lee! Trevor Lee, X Division champ, baby!
Oh, yeah. My boy Trevor Lee could do it. But what about, like, Dalton Castle? I think he'd be a great guy to see show up for this kind of thing. But he's Ring of Honor. I don't know. It's tough. Who's really
He's kind of beefy, too.
Who's floating around like PWG?
I mean, like, I feel like it'd have to be, like, PWG and, like, people from, like, Evolve and stuff. And, I mean, they have that working relationship with Evolve, whatever they're supposed to be in the long run. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely could see that being where we see that as an outlet. You know, get a lot of guys from, like, that whole group, the WWN, because there's a lot of, like, cruiserweight styled wrestlers and that whole thing. So that makes a lot of sense, along with bringing anyone back that could still wrestle. Not that I'm necessarily super excited about whoever they probably could still bring back, but I definitely think this concept is awesome, and I'd love to see it if they're getting like indie talents and older talents, and maybe even like some Japanese talents. Fuck it, bring Liger back in. They already used him in NXT once.
Well, I don't know if New Japan's going to be super eager to help out WWE.
That's true.
I guess maybe probably the biggest name who's really the question mark is Ricochet locked down?
Well, from what I've heard, these Lucha Underground contracts are for 7 seasons.
Fuck.
Yeah. No, I was going to say what about Trent, but he's New Japan as well.
What's Hideo Itami's medical situation? Is he near to be cleared?
No, I guess the news came out that he's having a lot of trouble with shoulder recovery. He's going to be out for at least another, 6.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Because this would be the
He was supposed
perfect
to
way
be
to bring
back
him
by
back.
the end of the year.
Because I could have seen this as been like a thing that they built around him, you know what I mean?
How heavy are the boys of TMDK?
Oh, way too heavy. Way
too heavy, right?
Yeah, they're like 6'2" heavyweights.
Oh, yeah, damn. Because I know they're supposed to be coming in, too, once the one who's injured is all healed up.
All right, look. I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. Not going to happen. Just kind of going along with the fever dream element. If Marufuji steps foot into NXT, you will hear my orgasm echoing through the hills.
Dude, that would be the craziest shit if Naomichi Marufuji showed up in NXT.
Marufuji versus like Sami Zayn in the finals, like it would be outrageous.
Just shut up, Q. Like just don't even talk like that.
I'm sorry. All right, so that's pretty much WWE taken out. So the other NXT topic of the day is, I guess we fired some folks. Bolt Dempsey, Sylvester Lefort, Marcus Louis, Magno, who I don't know if he ever got on television, did he?
No.
For sure.
And then like a deep development former cricket player guy, so those guys aren't really important. But as avid NXT watchers for years and years, and I think maybe some of the only fans that Bull Dempsey actually had. Are we missing anything from these guys? I haven't done an NXT scouting report in a while, but none of these three would have really gotten super complimentary scores. But was there anything worthwhile in Sylvester Lefort, Marcus Louis, or Bull Dempsey?
Man, I don't know, maybe Julius too, because he seems like our cup of tea, but like I was big on Sylvester Lefort. I thought he could have been I thought his manager work with Scott Dawson and God, what was his name?
Garrett Dillon.
Garrett Dillon. And even when he had like Scott Dawson and Rusev, like that was a good pairing too. I thought he had some good manager work, and then like I don't know, WWE just dropped it with him. Like he's a guy who's in great shape. His accent's not bad. He speaks enough English. I don't really get it. But I think it might have been a requested release. You know? I feel like the two French guys and Bull Dempsey might have just said, you know what? Let's go do like CJ Parker. Let's go do like who else recently left NXT? Oh, Solomon Crow. Let's get out on the indies, make our name, and then WWE will come looking for us in 2 or 3 years.
Right, because they certainly weren't going anywhere now.
Exactly.
And I mean, Bull Dempsey did look like he had some potential for a little while there. I swear to you that feud that he had with, his name's blanking on me.
What, Baron Corbin?
Baron Corbin, yeah. The feud that he had with Baron Corbin was fucking the end of his run, and it probably should have been because it was not good, and he was the bad part of it, to be perfectly honest with you. But I don't know how much of that was his fault, if he could have kept developing. He kind of had a tough road to success with that gimmick and that style at any case, but I don't know. I just never felt like it was even close to coming together for him.
No, and I think like the bullfit gimmick was fun, but there's only so far you can go when you give a fat guy a comedy gimmick, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if I told you he was trained by Taz, would that surprise you or not?
It really wouldn't, because he kind of reminded me of what Taz was before he found the MMA gimmick, you know?
Right.
Where he was just kind of an unfocused, big kind of guy who didn't really know what he was doing with himself.
See, and I feel like he should have taken more inspiration from Taz, and instead of being a fat guy who does a fucking splash or whatever, he should have just been a suplexing fucking monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that. That's where I think they failed with him, whether it was his decision or their decision. Like, the whole, like, old school mentality that he had. Like, honestly, like, I think Bull Dempsey was really good on the mic. Like, whenever he got the chance to talk, like, I always, like, I wanted to listen. Like, he just had this attitude behind it. And, like, I thought the old gimmick they were going for was good if they had done it, like Cewsh and you guys were saying, like, with, like, the suplexes and shit, you know, and, like, being a little bit more brutal but still having that old school mentality as opposed to just, like, a few punches, like, a cool ram attack, and, yeah, eventually, like, the headbutt off the top and the splash. Like, I think, like, he should have been more than that. And I feel that Baron Corbin feud really just kind of, like, set him back. And like you said, like, part of that feud was kind of lame because of him. I think there was some booking skews where they did with, like, him constantly being kind of like the whooping boy. I mean, obviously they had to make Corbin get over. That was, like, their plan, you know. But, like, it just seemed like they didn't do much to try and establish Bull Dempsey along the way. And then they just kind of said, screw you after that, and then did the whole bullfit thing, which was funny, but, like, would have been better had it led to something more serious, or at least an actual change in his ring style, because his ring style really didn't change, and I think that's where they messed up there. But other than that, like, Sylvester Lefort, like I already said, I thought he was excellent as a manager, and apparently, like, I saw, like, a random clip of some outside of WWE matches he had, and, like, the dude can, like, go in the ring from what it seems like. He just never really got the chance in NXT. And also, to correct Artie, he did recently come out with a post that said that he didn't quit. I think he was just, like, legitimately released. by WWE. But he's just kind of like, he said this thing about how Marcus Louis said that, some people want to act in Shakespeare because Shakespeare really is really awesome. But Spider-Man's also awesome. You might really like playing Shakespeare, but you're actually better at Spider-Man. So it's time to go be Spider-Man for a bit. And so, it's just like, maybe they didn't work out in NXT, but as we've seen many times, they can go somewhere else and succeed. So even if they didn't leave on purpose with that intention, as already said, they have that opportunity now to possibly make WWE call them back again. But are they missing a lot? No. I do think LaFleur was a missed opportunity, at least as a personality, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think, that if there's one lesson that I wish that people would take away, not just WWE, but any promotion, the words old school in the year 2016 are a kiss of death. Don't give people that gimmick. It's just so hard to make it work. If you think about it, the only person who's really able to work with that at all is basically that's what Cesaro is, but they don't say the words old school, and he's also maybe the most talented wrestler on earth. So it's like that's the baseline for what you've got to do in order to pull this shit off. Just stop giving people the gimmick.
Well, then you've got, the vaudevillains, where their gimmick is over with, the hipster-type crowd, I guess, but they're just awful in the ring. I have no interest in watching a vaudevillains match, but when I was there at TakeOver Brooklyn, and it was just oh, damn, the story was so good going into it, I was like, okay, I got into it. That feud was great, and, the blue pants reveal was awesome. But then afterwards, it's where do you go from here? Yeah, they're not going to get that kind of writing on the main roster. The gimmick is not going to translate to the main roster at all.
I think a lot of the problem with the vaudevillains, too, is it never felt like their ring style. I mean, Simon Gotch seems to, pull it off really well. But, with Aiden English, who I don't think is a bad wrestler, it's just that, the style that he tried to go for when he's teaming up and he's use the Swanton Bomb as part of their finish, that doesn't really translate to the gimmick they're going for, so there's a disconnect between the gimmick and what you actually get as far as the performance, and I think that's where their biggest issue comes in.
I think they are the perfect example of how now NXT has acts that will never actually leave NXT. They're just meant and designed for NXT, and I think that's the perfect example. They will never, ever make the main roster, and they really shouldn't. It's not a gimmick that's designed for it.
No, they should, and I think someone should eventually learn the lesson of the Ascension and, unfortunately, Tyler Breeze, where some gimmicks just don't work. Vince doesn't care for it, and it's hard to translate to the main roster without the level of writing and attentive care to the characters that NXT gives. NXT is such a small pool to where they can devote the attention to everyone. Main roster, no offense, but who are the vaudevillains compared to the other 8 teams on the roster? They immediately fall into 9th place or even 10th place beneath the fucking jobber tag teams that come in to be squashed.
Absolutely right. Speaking of jobbers, let's go to the world of TNA now. Yeah, that was a segment.
TNA.
TNA's had some tumultuous times lately. Since we left, they're on a new network now, and they're very vociferous about how it's all going super well, despite the fact that their ratings are regularly not outdrawing Days of Our Lives reruns on a different channel. But there's some stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff that's going on that we should probably mention. The first big one is Awesome Kong, who a lot of people may not even know had come back to working there, has been released. She was released for attacking Revy Sky, who is Matt Hardy's wife, girlfriend, baby mama? Yeah, wife. Okay.
Boo thing.
Yeah, boo thing. There you go. I don't know all the details about this. Artie, what exactly the fuck happened?
So, as we all know, Revy Sky is an awful human being.
Sure.
And I guess she had put hers and Maxwell, that's their baby, had put their stuff in the Knockouts dressing room.
Let's press pause on this real quick, just real quick. Let's rewind. Maxwell?
Yes, Maxwell. That's what they named their baby. Is Maxwell.
Oh, fucking hell. That's like, there's like a list of like 3 names we're going to make fun of. I didn't even know about that one. Fuck. All right, Maxwell, go on.
So, baby Maxwell and female baby Rebby put their gear in the Knockout's locker room. Rebby is not a knockout. So Awesome Kong took it upon herself, and by the way, Kong hates Rebby. Awesome Kong took it upon herself to throw their gear outside of said locker room. So Rebby Sky Hardy went in there to confront Kong, apparently bringing the baby in there, and Kong proceeded to, God, what's the term? I guess beat the shit out of her?
Sure.
The baby watching. So Kong has been fired, and
Okay, I just have to say, when you said that she brought the baby in with her, I envisioned that she's holding the baby while getting the shit beat out of her. So I thought it was worse than the baby watching.
I feel like the baby was just sitting there, like, waiting for someone to take a bump.
This is like what Mommy and Daddy do, but it seems so much bloodier.
Well, hey, Mommy and Daddy got arrested last year for beating the shit out of each other, so what does that poor baby know anyway?
Oh my god, poor little Maxwell.
So here's where I sit on this situation. Like, I don't fucking care because I don't like Rebby Sky. By the way, TNA then hired Rebby Sky the next day.
Obviously.
So now that's another Hardy who's drawing a fucking paycheck. I can't wait for Maxwell to sign with TNA. But now,
Be the youngest TNA World Heavyweight Champ ever.
Yes, indeed. So Kong already retired in Japan because her body's so shot, right? So now she's not even working TNA. I'm pretty sure that awesome/amazing Kong/Karma is probably just retired now from pro wrestling.
Just write it up on the list of people that TNA had during their prime and wasted.
At least she gets to say she's going out after having beat up Rebby Sky. That's got to be pretty successful, right? That's a good measure of success.
Also, Awesome Kong 2-0 in backstage fights in TNA.
Damn right.
And she's protecting her record. See, she's good. She might as well retire. She's on top of her game.
All I want is for her to put out a tweet that says basically like, I hate Rebby Sky, but at least she was harder to beat up than Bubba the Love Sponge.
Oh.
Buzzinga.
Yeah, and the reason that Rebby Sky, in case you guys are wondering, has so much stroke backstage that she can get somebody else fired and throw her bags around wherever the fuck she wants is because the TNA World Heavyweight Champion is none other than Matt Hardy.
V1 now!
I think he's at least V.9 now.
So, just to clarify, am I the only one who watches Impact weekly?
Weekly? Yes.
Yeah.
I catch it like once a month.
Rephrase that question with catch TNA ever, and yeah,
He didn't even watch it when it was good.
So, the entirety of this angle, I don't even know if we were still recording when Matt won the title the first time, and then vacated it the next day on YouTube, and then TNA had a 6-month tournament to crown new champion, and then the new champion, EC3, lost it 2 weeks later to heel Matt Hardy.
Wait, isn't this after EC3 swore that he would never lose another match?
Yes,
And it
this
lasted
was
2
EC3's
weeks.
first official loss.
Okay.
So Matt Hardy turned heel. Tyrus, who was a heel, turned heel on the heel. So now he's a heel. EC3 is face. So Rebby Hardy and Maxwell are now heels, and I'm going to just throw out some spoilers.
Wait, the baby's a heel?
Of course the baby's a heel. So, in the coming weeks, Rockstar Spud will turn heel in his home country of England.
What?
That makes sense. And then at the end of it, Bobby Lashley turns heel.
What?
Because no black people are ever allowed to be babyfaces.
Wait a minute. Who the fuck is the babyface on that show then? Is it just everyone's a heel and then Drew Galloway?
There's literally...
EC3 is apparently a babyface
and
now, which
Beer
makes
Money.
no sense to me.
EC3 and Beer Money are your only baby faces in the company. Oh, and Jeff Hardy, who can't even wrestle because his leg is so destroyed, but they still trot him out there every week, except for the shows in England because he's legally not allowed in that country.
So EC3 and Beer Money, who probably left on the roster are the three most natural and talented heels that they have, are the only baby faces on the entire roster, including a baby.
Yes.
All right.
Also, on the Knockouts division, I think Gail Kim is a face. Everyone else is in one heel stable called the Dollhouse.
Oh, everybody joined that thing? Oh,
yes.
Man, I can't even get started on the fucking Dollhouse. What a waste of Mia Yim's career that shit is. That just makes me furious. She was legit such an up-and-coming star on the independent scene in women's wrestling. She was going to be Shimmer champion probably inside the year, and now she's wasting her fucking career as girl number 6 in the fucking Dollhouse.
That's
Don't
terrible.
Forget, the Dollhouse angle is so bad that Taryn Terrell, former Tiffany in WWE, converted to Christianity and retired from pro wrestling just to get the fuck out of it.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, she just found Jesus and quit wrestling.
Oh my god, yes.
But when she quit wrestling, she was still Knockouts champion? So she did a job, lost the title, but they still had her contracted for like 3 more months of TV. So she recorded backstage vignettes, like 3 months worth, and they would just air them every week as Mia Yim and Marty Bell, I want to say
Marty Bell, yeah.
just stood around like, there she is!
Yeah, Marty Bell also phenomenally talented and way too good for this.
Yeah, so I think that's everything in TNA. Oh, there's a new X Division champion.
Oh, there is a new X Division champion. Who is that X Division champion?
He is the former CWF PWI Ultra J champion, winner of the Johnny Weaver Memorial Cup, former TNA Tag Team champion, former Omega World Heavyweight Champion of North Carolina, and now the current reigning TNA World X Division champion of Florida.
Trevor Lee!
Nobody doesn't like Trevor Lee, that's right.
Yeah, this kid, man, we made his career.
Yeah, it was all because of us. Like, I think it's funny that people try to act like this dude, like, had all the talent to make it on his own. Don't get me wrong, like, the dude is super talented. That's why we scouted him. But he was missing that special something until we put the power of the Cewsh conglomerate behind it. And now, look at him. He's the X Division champion. I guarantee by the end of next year, IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, he's going to make a new title for New Japan. That's how epic
Western Japan promotion.
Well, to be fair, he's also one of the ugliest people I've ever seen, so we might as well just say that it's
that's terrible.
No.
There's got to be uglier than him.
We lived through Trevor Lee's success, and his rugged accoutrements are what they are.
Do you guys remember Kurgan? Do you remember what that man looked like?
Yeah.
He looked like human growth hormone as a body.
Jaw made of steel.
I think a caveman looks better than what a human growth hormone made of body.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so that's most of what TNA, though there is one other thing that I wanted to plumb the depths of, because with TNA, you know it's always one tiny little tiptoe forward and then a giant colossal jump down a canyon back. But there is one kind of interesting thing that they're doing that I know, Artie, you had some more details of. They have a new contract structure with the people that they're signing. Because we're talking about all these new free agents, and WWE's snapping up people, and New Japan's snapping up people. TNA is actually being kind of competitive, though we'll kind of get to what happens when they don't successfully sign someone in a minute. But, I mean, they remain kind of competitive because they're doing this strange new thing with contracts that fuck knows they should have been doing this entire time.
So, with WWE/NXT, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and Lucha Underground signing talents to these exclusive contracts, TNA realized, like, hey, we don't have any roster. And luckily for TNA, Global Force is kind of fucking gone, so they can kind of snatch their guys back, everyone that they were worried about, and they're basically hiring up to these new contracts where you work for TNA. You can't go book yourself on indies. TNA will book you on these independent shows, and the company will pay TNA. which basically helps TNA to cover your salary. So if you work 52 weekends a year, and TNA gets paid for it, they can then pay that money to you. They can pay you whatever your guarantee is. I mean, it's $100,000, $250,000, $300,000, I think, is the most they pay. And this is good because now TNA can actually afford their talent. Their talent has security in bookings. And if you're a TNA talent and you just signed one of these contracts, if TNA fails to do the most basic of things and book you on a show, you still get paid. So instead of going out and having to book all your own indie shows and like, oh, damn, I got to make this shot, well, if TNA management overlooks the fact you're not booked for a weekend, you're still going to get your fucking paycheck all the same. So it could work to the tremendous benefit of the talent, and honestly could be huge for TNA if they are capable enough to book their talent as frequently as needed.
Yeah, that's something they kind of have a problem with their own company, huh?
I just can't help but think about how different this kind of style would have made their whole relationship with Ring of Honor back in the day, where like the entire roster could have just also worked Ring of Honor through this system, and they basically could have been like brother and sister promotions, and everything would have been cool. Instead, they were just a bunch of dickheads and ruined the whole thing. Same with New Japan. Like, this could have always been on the table, and now they burn so many bridges that they don't even have a choice.
Well, it's actually funny because this is kind of what Ring of Honor and New Japan do with each other. Like, the Young Bucks were signed to New Japan, and that allowed them to go do other indies and whatnot. And basically, New Japan said, "Hey, we don't want you guys working this much because the chance of injury goes up and all that. And basically, they don't want the Young Bucks to get hurt working for like Joe Schmo Wrestling, and now that's costing New Japan money, So they basically said, Ring of Honor, sign up the Young Bucks, and they can only work for you, us, and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. And now the Young Bucks have a solid contract. They're set on their dates, and since New Japan and Ring of Honor have this agreement anyway, they can still work for both companies. So it works in everyone's favor because then when they work Japan, New Japan just pays Ring of Honor for it, and it covers the cost of the contracts.
It's so brilliant.
Right? I mean, that's just good business sense, and especially in the wrestling environment that we're in now. And
Go
ahead.
I just want to say, think of how awesome it is for the Young Bucks personally, to be like, for New Japan to be like, look, we don't want you wrestling in all these other places, but don't worry, you can still wrestle in PWG. Like, that's like the one they're like, fuck, sign me up. That's all I need.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of people getting signed up by New Japan and other people, there have been two things in the news lately, since I can't leave the topic of TNA without making fun of them too. Everybody's aware that when that TNA claims that they had a vocal agreement with AJ Styles, and then he signed with WWE, and then they treated him like he was some kind of traitor who betrayed them, despite the fact that they dumped him out like rotten garbage not 1 year before. Everyone's on board with that, right?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay. So then, apparently, basically the same thing happens again with British talent Will Ospreay, who I guess he even like wrestled one match on a British show, or maybe he had. I think actually it was that he was planned to wrestle on the British tour, and then he just goes and signs with New Japan instead, and they treat him like he had the cure for cancer and ripped it apart in front of them.
Well, the Will Ospreay situation is so much worse. So obviously TNA has signed Rockstar Spud and Grado over the last couple of years, trying to sign up some British talent, and I guess they're trying to raid these companies like ICW and Progress and PCW. They're trying to steal that British talent since it's kind of an untapped market. So Will Ospreay agreed to do their British shows. I want to say Jimmy Havoc is also on the shows. And then they found out Will Ospreay had signed with New Japan, and he's starting next month. And so TNA realized, like, we can't sign him. He's already signed. And they got so butthurt that instead of actually putting him on the show, and Will Ospreay's a phenomenal talent, they instead just jobbed him out on Explosion. to, I don't know, probably 2 Rockstar Spud in like a minute and a half.
Wow. Because it hurts his feelings so much on his way to New Japan to do a job on Explosion. Oh, man. If I were him, I wouldn't have even showed up for that match. I would have just been like, yeah, peace out. I'm going to a real promotion that actually exists.
TNA fails. That's the news that I caught from most of this, except for maybe a good contract idea that's too late.
Like I said, 4 bad things, 1 good things, the TNA story. All right, and that moves us over to New Japan. Wrestle Kingdom just happened. Did everybody see Wrestle Kingdom?
Oh, yeah.
Sure did.
Okay. We're not going to get into what everybody thought. We're going to have a big old review on the blog about that to sort all that shit out. But now New Japan's in kind of a weird spot. The Tanahashi-Okada feud is finally over. Okada won at Wrestle Kingdom. I'm sorry if that's a spoiler. It's been 2 months. Get your life together. So now, where does New Japan kind of go from here? I mean, Nakamura's gone. It's basically been stated that he's going to move down the card a little bit and make way for Okada to be on top from now on. I mean, it's kind of a whole new Japan. They lost half their main event scene in 1 month. Where do they go from here?
I think the focus is on Goto for now. I think they're really trying to legitimize him. And I don't know if you guys have seen the pushback, but the fans don't seem to be too into him. I like Goto. I'm personally a fan of his. I thought his IC title run was solid, and I don't mind him being the kind of big challenger for Okada for now. I'd like to see Kenny Omega get the spot, but I don't really know who else fits in the top right now. Like,
I mean, I guess Naito is the obvious answer because he's fucking killing it. But I think one of the major things people are pissed off about with Goto, too, is that Goto beat Naito clean on Wrestle Kingdom. And it's like, why?
Well, that was just a bad booking decision to me.
Yeah, I think they kind of messed up having Naito. It makes no sense, like, for Goto to win there. It's like, yeah, I know you got to make Goto still look stronger every now and then, like we actually give a fuck. But Naito is the only thing that's going to have something going for him in the future, like long term, I feel. And, you know, like, I have a love-hate relationship with Goto. Like, I love him as a wrestler, and I can love his matches, but I never get excited about his matches these days. You know, it's like, it's kind of like been there, done that, haven't quite been there and done that, but it feels like they've tried so many times that you don't care anymore. And that's why I didn't think like he should have necessarily beat Nakamura for the IC title and stuff like that, but that's a whole other thing. As far as where they go from here, it's kind of like you guys said, like, who do they put into the top? I think Shibata's someone they could do that with, but you know, he just got the Never Openweight Championship, and I think they should kind of, like, run that for a bit. And, you know, he still needs to, like, I'm sure they feel he still needs to pay his dues for dipping out on him before, so maybe that's kind of like their way of being like, here's something where we're actually pushing you, prove your worth, don't ditch out on us, you know, that sort of thing. He can get there. I think having Goto be the guy challenge Okada now is fine in the sense that New Japan always does long-term booking, you know, so, like, setting up Okada Tanahashi led to it being resolved like 6 years later. You know, I think right now, obviously, the focus is officially pushing as Okada as the top guy now that he's finally beaten the ace and, you know, has no qualms about how talented he is, who he's better than. They need to kind of run strong with that. I think, honestly, unless they want to pull something weird like Ishii, which I think age-wise they just probably wouldn't really care.
Maybe put like a spot pay-per-view here or there or something like that.
Right, like maybe get like a match, but I can't see them actually having him like win it. As far as the next guy, and Omega, I think they need to have him just run stupid strong with the Intercontinental Championship for a while. But as long as he can, you know, keep up with it. As far as who they need to bring up next, Naito, I think, is a great heel to bring up. But if he can stay healthy and keep proving the push that he was kind of given, I kind of think Ibushi might be the next, like, big babyface to go with if they don't get someone new or they don't go through a Shibata.
I think you're definitely right about Ibushi. I think, and also for Goto, for those who aren't New Japan fans and don't know a ton about him, he's basically the Mark Henry of New Japan, where like he gets so close to the title so many times that eventually you're just like, I know you're not gonna win, so fuck off.
Right.
It's just, but Ibushi is definitely in a position to do that. I really think that they're positioning Naito versus Okada to be like their next 5 years. Like that's going to be the new thing. Like that's going to carry.
Which could be great.
Yeah, I really think that that's where they're going. If you haven't seen Naito's new gimmick and his stable Los Ingobernables, that it's one of the most fascinating gimmicks I've ever seen in professional wrestling. Basically, the idea is he does not give a shit about anything, does not respect anyone, hardly cares about winning his matches. All he cares about is disrespecting everyone he meets as much as physically possible and pissing them off. So basically, he just wants titles because he doesn't want you to have them. He wants you to be mad about it. He's basically a fully formed living troll functioning in the heart of New Japan, and it is beautiful. He has an enforcer whose name is just Evil.
Takaki Watanabe was awful in Ring of Honor, but when he came back as Evil, I was all over it.
Dude, that guy can never turn face. His name is Evil.
How about Bushi? Just wears a fucking like sugar skull mask now over his actual. Like, it's great.
And black lipstick.
Oh yeah.
Now,
I mean, it's great.
Now,
yeah.
In New Japan over the last couple of years, we've had 3 main eventers, 3 guys who've had the title. You got Tanahashi, Okada, and Styles. So my thought is they might want to use another Ring of Honor Gaijin as a top guy. And there is a guy who's really fucking over in New Japan. I'm not a fan of his in America, but he had a killer run through the G1 last year.
Anagon!
Michael Anagon!
I will tell you right now, Michael Elgin will be in a world title match this year. He is that over. It is going that well. It's going to happen.
Like,
oh yeah, and Okada Elgin would be fucking sick.
Exactly.
I could honestly see him winning the title, and it's like it's something where you're like hesitant to say it. You're like, but I can see it.
There's such a precedent that's been set for that with your Scott Nortons and your Bob Sapps. They love giant Gaijin.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it just so happens that this one can actually work.
Yeah, no, and his style translates so perfectly to New Japan. Like, I think it's no secret that I fucking hate Michael Elgin.
Oh, he's the worst in America. He really is.
Dude, his run through the G1 last year, I was actually rooting for Big Mike, as they call him.
Yeah, you know, it's like, it's kind of weird because unlike you two, you know, like I've been a fan of Elgin, but realized his shortcomings. But like for some reason in Japan, it's like he's just like in tune with everything. You know, like it's just like whatever he doesn't get in America, for some reason when he's in Japan, he gets it. And honestly, like maybe the G1 was a learning experience because I feel like his matches, like in ROH since, have been better. You know, like his overall working style seems to have improved a lot. Like he kind of is like beaten out some of the like indie-isms in his wrestling style and is like really playing up to his power style more and more than he already was. And like I don't know what the hell happened, but Michael Elgin in New Japan, I fucking love it and I want to see it keep going. And if they wanted to throw him a title shot, shit, at the rate he's been going with, I don't care how long they want to run with it. I'd be down to see what happens.
The other really big question in New Japan right now is where Bullet Club stands and where it goes from here. They've already lost Styles and Tamatanga. There's heavy rumors that Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows were leaving. God hope they don't go to WWE because, oh my God, that would be the fucking worst. But the rumor has, like, they keep saying that they're staying with New Japan, but they have not signed a new contract yet. So that would basically leave us with a Bullet Club of Bad Luck Fale and Kenny Omega and nobody else.
Well, the Bucks
Young Bucks.
Well, yeah, I mean...
The Bucks can survive on their own, but, like, good God, Bad Luck Fale on his own is...
Well, I mean, I guess, does Fale just become Omega's bodyguard? Because I guess Cody Hall's really already become a bodyguard for the Young Bucks, and they can just kind of become their own act.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean-
that's always doable.
Well, like, so is Tama Tonga actually gone? Like, is he leaving?
Yeah, he's gone.
What? What? Where is he going?
His contract just expired, and they decided not to re-sign him.
What
I
the
feel
hell,
like they
dude?
never
Tama
really-
Tonga's my boy.
Dude, I feel like they never cared about him because he's the only person in the Bullet Club to never win a title.
It's true.
And by the way, is Yujiro Takahashi still in the Bullet Club?
Yeah, he is still in it, yeah. Though I feel like they could go with a new direction with him anytime they wanted, really.
Yeah.
Like, everybody in the Bullet Club can survive without the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club is such an incredibly lucrative gimmick, even now, that it's hard to imagine that they just go away with it.
So, like, is Tonga just working, like, his last couple takes and then leaving?
Dude, nobody cares about Tama Tonga. Jesus
I
Christ.
care about Tama Tonga.
Yeah, that means only you and Tama Tonga are concerned with this shit right now.
About to say, like, everybody important in Bullet Club's leaving, and is Tama Tonga working indie dates? I don't fucking know, guys.
I think
I'm
they
looking
just-
at this new beginning card and so confused.
Dude, I think they only used Tama Tonga just to get Haku on a pay-per-view again.
I guess, basically. Like, they had high hopes for him
Just
back in the
waited
day.
until that moment.
They just never get rid of anything in New Japan. I mean, that's how Rocky Romero's had a job there for 10 years.
Good lord.
But I
Poor
mean,
Rocky.
he's still doing a good job over there, but like, they just never get rid of anything. Like, they keep people going, and they eventually find something that works, and they just go with it. But yeah, I find it hard to think of any gaijin that really kind of fit the Bullet Club template who they could start using, though I would have said that about most of the people who they put in Bullet Club, and it all worked out. But they really need that, like, that star to make them seem important, like AJ and like Devitt were, and I'm just not sure there's a guy like that. I don't think that that's Omega.
Well, I mean, Omega is he's the boss now.
Ugh.
But
I think Omega can pull it off, man. I think he's been really kind of transforming himself a little bit. But I get what you're saying, though. Like, he's got to really put some work in if he wants to bring it to, like, the level that, like, Styles and Devitt made it feel like.
Right. Otherwise, we're talking about like DX after Triple H leaves.
oh, the Road Dogg and X-Pac?
Yep.
Yeah, no one remembers that.
Nobody does. All right, let's bring it back to the States. So there's just one or two more things to talk about here. Lucha Underground is still being Lucha Underground. People who love it still love it. People who don't watch it still don't watch it. But there is one interesting thing, if only because I really want to talk about how stupid his name is. Justin Gabriel, formerly of the Nexus, has debuted in Lucha Underground as PJ Black. I'm sure that you guys are both big Lucha Underground fans, so you can probably talk about how good his debut was. I mostly want to talk about how fucking stupid the name Darewolf is.
You know something? I don't know if you realize that not only is it stupid, it's something that he finds brilliant, because he tried to use that in WWE, and it was so bad that WWE never bothered to trademark it.
They'll trademark anything anybody says.
Anything. They've actually trademarked Cewshcast, you know? and he was like, I remember because he was on Talking Jerk, he was so proud of it. He's like, yeah, they forgot to trademark it, so I took it. Like, good job, buddy.
The Darewolf. Yeah, I still haven't watched the new Lucha Underground yet, only because I still have to catch up on, like, the second half of the first season. And somehow I've managed to avoid most spoilers, and I need to get on that. And I know that I've been distracted with Rick and Morty, so don't hate on me. But the name is stupid, but I like Justin Gabriel enough that I'm definitely down to see how he does in Lucha Underground. But I mean, hey, if he can dare things as a wolf, then I guess he's winning somewhere. I don't know. I'm trying to spin it in a positive light, and I can't.
I mean, I'm trying to make sense of Darewolf. I mean, on a full moon, does he turn into a dare?
He turns into a BMX rider, I think.
He should turn into a BMX bike. Now that's something I would get behind.
Oh, God, that would be incredible. By the way, the ring name PJ Black caused a lot of confusion when he wrestled Willie Mack, because Matt Striker was trying so hard not to say Black took out Mac. So then he tried to bring it to talking about the fact that Justin Gabriel is a South African, but then he's in the ring with an African American.
Oh,
so
no.
Matt Striker was so tongue-tied up because he couldn't use the words black, African, or American, so he just kind of shut down.
The fellow with the extra melanin has lost to the fellow from Africa.
It's like, there's an African, not the black guy, the guy named Black.
Jesus Christ. Oh, Matt Striker. Okay, and that's a nice lighthearted note, but now we got to get to something, I guess, a little more serious. Julius, I know that you are probably the biggest Axl Rotten fan that I have ever met, and probably the biggest fan of ECW in general, so Axl Rotten has passed away, unfortunately. Rest in peace to Axl Rotten, the man who is going to carry more glass shards into the grave than maybe anyone ever. Any words to say about the career and life of Axl Rotten?
Well, I don't know where you've got your information, Cewsh, because while a fan of ECW, Axl Rotten was never one of my favorites.
Oh,
shit. He was, yeah. So
was
it
it Ian Rotten that you were defending, or was it? I thought that.
No. If I was going to defend one, it would be Axl. But
I think Cewsh is confused from the time I was talking about Axl Rotten's GoFundMe on here.
Oh, I think that might have been it. Yeah. I guess that didn't go well. I don't know.
Fuck.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be morbid.
Hey, listen. The guy was really hurt, and unfortunately, I think what happened here was a substance abuse issue, because it seems like they say he had a heart attack in a McDonald's drive-thru or something.
Oh.
Is that oh my
real?
God.
Yeah, apparently
That's
so.
sad.
But his mother says that it was his demons, and, well, he was a pretty well-known former heroin addict. So, I mean, it might have been overdose related.
That's
But,
horrible.
yeah, the final word seems like he died in a McDonald's parking lot, which has to be one of the worst ways to possibly go.
Okay, see, this is horrible, and I want to be respectful, and it's terrible anytime a person dies, especially from drug use, because that's a horrible thing that haunts many people. And this is really not the thing to be focusing on, but I'm just curious, is there any word as to where in the drive-thru he was? Like, did he get his Egg McMuffin first?
You know, I wondered that myself, and I just imagine that, like, the cashier gave so little of a shit that Axl Rotten's car just happened to roll up to the pay window, and they just gave him his food, and he just rolled off.
Right, you can't just sit in the drive-thru, right? Like, somebody will come up behind you in like 10 seconds, or they'll wonder why you're not pulling up. Like, it's not, you can't, like, just chill there.
Yeah, like, when I worked at the gas station, I had someone die from an overdose at the pump.
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was crazy scenes.
This gas is taking too long. I better do a line.
So, you'd think someone would fucking notice the guy dying in the drive. I assume he had pulled over to eat his McRib or whatever, and that was when he died. But still, it's just like, on one hand, you're like, fuck, man, that sucks so hard. On the other hand, you're just like, I assume every ECW original is going out that way.
At least one of them's gonna die in a Burger King drive-thru. Oh God, that's horrible, and we're horrible, and I don't think
We are.
We have not done.
Rest in peace, Axl Rotten. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
rest
how
in
good
peace.
of work you were. Like, you know, no one deserves to go out that way.
I hope you're eating Ed McMuffins in heaven, buddy.
Hey, man, rest in peace to the chair swinging freak.
That's right. All right, now this is usually the time in the show where we would go into some questions, but we're just coming back. We got to warm up to the questions, give you guys time to learn that we're back before we start hitting you up for those. So instead, we're going to do something that we did about, oh God, like a year and a half ago, something like that. We did Fantasy Warfare, where each one of us picked a team of 10 wrestlers, and then I put them into Total Extreme Warfare, the online game that people have been playing since the dawn of ages. And we simulate them full out. I take no control over it whatsoever. All we are picking is 10 people to put on each of our rosters. We all start off completely equal. All of us have equal size promotions, equal resources. Everything's equal except these 10 guys. And then we simulate it from there and just see what the hell wackiness ensues with these promotions. And then eventually Julius wins because that's just how these games always go.
I have a knack for this sort of thing.
So, tonight we are going to do the draft for this particular one. We're going to pick our teams of 10 wrestlers. And then we're going to come back on the next show, and I'm going to let everybody know how the fuck these wacky, weird promotions played out. And after we're done with the draft, I will tell both the bonus that Julius gets to his promotion for winning last time and the special secret twist that I'm putting on this particular game. But that's not going to come until after the draft. So first, we're going to have to pick an order. I mean, I guess we'll go reverse ranking from last time. So, like, I guess, Artie, that would make you the number one pick.
Oh, okay.
Because you did so bad last time that I think everyone on your roster quit.
Okay. Do we pick names for a roster, for a company again?
Yeah, we're picking names for the companies.
Okay. I'd like to call my company Julius Sucks Wrestling.
Julius Sucks Wrestling.
Yes.
All one
JSW.
word? JSW.
Separate words, yes.
Okay.
Julius Sucks, comma, Wrestling.
Sucks,
He doesn't suck wrestling. Julius just sucks, and then there's also...
You're
All
calling
right.
your friend wrestling.
All right, I like it. Julius, you're up.
For the name?
Yeah,
well,
name.
Obviously, it was so successful before. We're going full throttle with the new season of Pro Grapes Federation.
Pro Grapes Federation. People love them fucking grapes, man. All right, and I was inspired from earlier in this particular show, so I'm going to go with New Western Japanese Promotion.
Yes, of course.
All right, so those are our three promotions. The order of picks will be Artie first, then me, then Julius, and then back around in that order. Okay, so let's get started. Artie, you have the number one pick in the draft.
My number one draft pick is number one from the 2016 Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns.
Oh, shit. Now, for the record, you can pick literally anyone on Earth in any promotion, man, woman, as long as they're active. So you can't pick, like, retired people, and CM Punk's not coming back. I don't care how hard you wish. All right, so we got Roman Reigns. Fuck, who am I going to... Why am I even asking? I'm going to pick John Cena. Fuck it, John Cena.
Well, these other two rookies want to pick people like Roman Reigns, John Cena, the people who might look pretty on the cover of a magazine. I think you need to go with the best talent in the world if you want to win in this game of wrestling. So that's why my first pick is Daniel Bryan.
You know, I really thought you were going to pick Kurgan based on our talk of ugly people before.
So is your second pick going to be like a new neck for him, or what?
Actually, I specifically just want Kurgan's neck. That will be
neck on Bryan's body.
that'll be my third world champion.
All right. Okay, Artie, you're up.
Okay.
Yeah.
My second choice will be the New Japan New Federation of the West IWGP JPW champion Kazuchika Okada.
Oh man, that's a good pick.
Motherfucker, I was thinking about him.
Think harder, buddy.
See, here's the problem. Every time we do this, like, I don't plan on picking the exact same team, but then I always do, because then I'm just like, well, I guess I got to pick Cena. And then someone picks Okada, I'm like, well, I'm going to pick Tanahashi because I don't want to have Tanahashi, so I'm going to pick Tanahashi. And then we're going to get it all the way to the end, and someone's going to pick Lashley, and I'm going to be pissed.
Nobody's picking Lashley.
Fucking Lashley, man. It's going to happen. All right, so Tanahashi is my pick.
All right, well, I guess I got to stick with the theme before I lose out on the top Japanese guys, and I'm going with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, shit.
All right. And I'll stick with my theme of champions, and I'll pick the WWE champion, Triple H.
Oh, man. Well, if nothing else, there's going to be crazy politics in your company. Basically, despite the fact that you said you hated WWE's direction right now, you have now picked the entire main event feud you don't like.
Well, because this is the entire main event of WWE. There's nobody else left.
All right, my next pick, fuck, this is easy. I'll take Brock.
Shit.
All right.
Taking Brock.
You can have Brock. I was thinking about getting Brock, but not before a man that they call the Future, but who is actually just the man, Seth Rollins. I'm sorry, Seth freaking Rollins.
I had no idea where you were going with that. I thought you were going Sting, and then maybe the pop artist Future.
Well, trust me, if Future was in my promotion, it would just be so that his neck gets broken thrown off a stage.
Okay, fair enough.
Shit, it's me now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's one. I picked Kevin Owens.
Oh.
You motherfucker.
All right. Well, I don't want to miss out on the Shield, so I'm going Dean Ambrose.
Fuck! I knew you were gonna pick a Shield guy. Like someone else had to pick the other Shield guy.
We all gotta have one.
Yeah, but
That's fair. Fine. Well, you know what? Then I'm getting another new to WWE guy and one of the top prospects in all professional wrestling, AJ Styles.
Oh, that's a good one. You're gonna have fucking white hot matches in your shit.
Damn right. That's what I'm going for.
Okay. On to you, Artie.
Good God Almighty. I'll take another champion, and I'm picking Lucha Underground champion Mil Muertes.
What?
I don't know if you needed to pick him in round 5, dude.
Dude. I was doing so good on these spoilers, too.
Oh, what the?
Oh, you just spoiled the chat. I didn't even notice.
My life is ruined.
Catch up.
Oh, that's funny. All right. I guess I'll take shit. Give me. Well, I guess Orton. I'll just take everybody good from 5 years ago.
Next round, you might want to drop the shoulder.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Kurgan's shoulder.
We're just gonna take his body parts. He's just like a mannequin pumped with human growth hormone. We'll just pluck arms off of him.
Together, we'll make the Ultra Kurgan promotion.
The Ultra Kurgan.
The UKP. Okay, so I have an awesome roster of top ring workers, but I need some kind of like American star power because you guys have like Cena and Triple H and all those guys. So I think I should just go ahead and buckle down and get the Undertaker.
Yeah, that makes sense. Though I don't know how many matches he's gonna have left in him.
He'll have enough to bring Pro Grapes to the top.
So next round, you're drafting Kurgan's hips and knees, or
No. You get the hips. Cewsh gets the knees. I get the toes.
what about the shoulders and the head?
I think maybe we should ask Kurgan how he feels about this.
I don't think
we're
Kurgan
auctioning
is
off his
worthy.
body parts.
I don't think Kurgan actually speaks English, honestly.
That would make a lot of sense, actually. Yeah.
All right. It's me.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with the world champs here. I'm drafted up my boy Jay Lethal.
Okay.
I'll take a champ too. I'm going Charlotte.
All right.
Obviously, I'd be the first one to draft a woman. That's just how this goes.
Yeah,
Well, that's okay because I am going to go with someone who's going to be a champ and is the champ of all indie wrestling, Samoa Joe.
Solid choice.
Solid choice, you motherfucker.
It's gonna
Solid
champ on
choice.
some cookies.
Dude, come on, you just drafted the fat Samoan. Like, I'm doing all right.
He's only wild about cookies, dude.
All right, gotta draft the NXT World Champion Finn Balor.
Nice. Not bad.
Crap. All right, I'm gonna take Hideo Itami.
All right. I'll stick
shoulder?
with this. I'm sticking with this NXT and Japanese theme, and I'm going to get my first woman of the promotion, my ace of the women's division, and probably be kicking some boys' ass too, Asuka/Kana.
Oh, Christ. I really wanted her, actually.
Yeah, I knew you did.
If y'all bitches are drafting women, I'm gonna take the boss, Sasha Banks.
God damn it, I was going to get Banks next.
Well, I gotta have at least one more woman to have a fucking women's division, so I'm taking Paige, I guess.
Alright, well...
I was not expecting there to be a run on women's wrestlers in the middle of this draft.
Yeah, that was, leave it to Cewshcast.
Yeah.
I should get another woman, but I really don't want this opportunity to disappear, so I'm going to go with Kota Ibushi.
He's got feminine features. He's got delicate hair.
I'm going to pull a Santina story with him.
Give me a second, let me think. Yeah, fuck it. I'll take Minoru Suzuki.
Oh, dude, what a legend.
Oh, I wanted to get him earlier. Fuck.
He's gonna be such a bizarre wild card in this because he could be the world champion or job out on Superstars and nothing. I don't know what the fuck.
Two Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, no matter what it is, it's gonna be awesome.
Yep, it sure is. Right, me. Well, fuck it, I'm picking another woman then. I'm picking Lufisto. She should be.
Who the fuck is that?
Did you say who the fuck is Lufisto? Did you just say who the fuck is Lufisto? Motherfucker, I'm sending you 10 DVDs tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
No, it won't.
Alright, well, I guess I really, really want a little bit more indie flair in here that's not Japanese, so let's go with Drew Galloway.
Alright, I think this is the last round, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Alright, so you guys already know who I'm picking, so you guys pick whoever.
Okay. For my last pick, I will take top TNA star, Bobby Lashley.
What the fuck? No!
Yes!
Dude!
Yes!
You don't even want him.
You know, you were this close to me drafting Maxwell Hardy, and then you opened your mouth, and there went Lashley.
You son of a bitch. This happened twice in a row. Oh, fuck. Who's out there who's the most like Lashley?
Go ahead, just take Maxwell Hardy. No one
I'm
knows.
not taking the baby, alright? Gene Snitsky, fucking Julius will put Gene Snitsky and he'll punt Maxwell to the moon. Alright, I'll just take the white Bobby Lashley Batista.
More like Hispanic? He's
I guess
Hispanic,
he's
right?
Filipino. No, he's Filipino.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's my bad. That's my ignorance. I'm racist. It's all right. We know this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, eef. All right. Well, I guess I have no other choice. This is a message from God. It's been spoken to me from a divine entity, and I know who my last pick will be, and he will completely rock the foundation of professional wrestling as we know it. And that is Party Sailing Ashley Castle.
That is a person. So
I am aware of that person's existence.
Yeah, well, okay, well, we're just going to make him smooth sailing Ashley Remington to keep it simple. I feel like we're trying too hard with like the whole mixture thing with Party Sailing, so let's just keep it basic.
As long as somebody's sailing, it's all good.
Yeah, there's always got to be sailing and a man named Ashley.
Well, that is an excellent pick. I'm sure it will bode well for you, and that person will not at all just be a jobber in your dark matches for the entirety of the time you're running your promotion.
It doesn't matter. I'm winning anyway. I'll be making money. That's all
I don't know, dude. I drafted Bobby Lashley. Like, that guy beat Umaga at WrestleMania on behalf of Donald Trump. Like,
future President Donald Trump.
Yes, I forgot that.
He's basically a Secret Service operative.
I kind of hope Bobby Lashley runs as his VP.
Yes, that's my dream.
But then you'd have to vote Trump.
I would if Bobby Lashley runs as the vice president for Trump, I will happily vote for Trump.
Only if Vince McMahon starts a smear campaign.
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess if Trump's running for president, there's at least a 10% chance that Vince McMahon runs just out of spite, right?
No, there's almost a 10%
Makes
because
sense.
Vince is his VP.
Oh my God, how amazing!
Oh,
Okay.
good God, I don't even want to think about it. It's so exciting.
What if all this is actually just one big work for WWE? Trump becomes president, it becomes a WrestleMania storyline.
Trump becomes president, and he wrestles Vince McMahon for the presidentship at WrestleMania 30 whatever.
Honestly, how dope would it be if it's just like Trump's just like, from now on every year, first Sunday of April, WrestleMania holiday.
Yes! Yes!
It's like, you know what? Fuck it, Trump. You can run our country into the ground. You have won me over.
Oh my God, I would love that so much.
Guys, don't forget to get your cakes for WrestleMania Day. Buy your presents, put them under the Vince McMahon tree.
I am writing a donation check right now.
You do a pretty good Donald Trump impersonation.
It's also a good John F. Kennedy impersonation. I didn't realize they were so similar.
I kind of just go for, like, old Jewish politician, and it works.
All right, and that's our draft. To recap, my team, Charlotte, Paige, Lesnar, Batista, Tanahashi, Cena, Ambrose, Itami, Lufisto, and Orton. Artie, who's your team?
I did not write any of these people down.
God damn it, Art.
Lashley, Sasha, Okada, Reigns, Triple H, Minoru Suzuki was in there. Did I say Sasha?
Yes.
Okay. The Boss, Mrs. Banks, Snoop Dogg's cousin. There's a bunch of people in there. Oh, Jay Lethal, Finn Balor. I think that's 10 or 25.
I feel like
You also had Lucha Underground champion Mil Muertes.
Yes, Lucha Underground champion Julius. Did you hear that? Lucha Underground champion Mil Muertes.
I hate you so much, Artie.
Yeah,
I swear, every spoiler I try to avoid, you're the one who spoils it for
The
me.
fucking Naito of this podcast.
Did I also mention top TNA star Bobby Lashley?
Fuck you, dude. All right, Julius, who do you have?
Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, The Undertaker, and some other guys.
Okay, good.
Julius went French on us?
Yes, he sure did. Sylvester Lefort coming out of him.
Oui, oui. That means yes.
You know,
If he had been Sylvester the Castle, he would have succeeded.
Oh.
He was merely a foot. All right, that brings us to the end of the first Cewshcast back. We hope that you guys are happy to have us back. If you're not, well, then fuck you then. We never liked you anyway. Before we go, do you guys have anything left that you want to share with the audience? Any homework you want them to do?
No.
Okay. You're like a substitute teacher. You don't really want to get in on that.
You know, check out the mesh thread and Raja. Woo! That's all I got for you.
My homework is, some of you may not be aware that since we started the Cewshcast, since we stopped the Cewshcast before, that we actually have a new Cewsh Reviews blog. So it is no longer cewshreviews.blogspot.com. It is now just cewshreviews.com. It looks sleek and sexy as hell. We got new contributors on there. These fuckasses may write something from time to time. Who knows? Go there. It's awesome. You should be there.
It's big time, baby.
Oh,
big
yeah.
Time.
We graduated from Blogspot to WordPress.
Yes.
Yes.
And, yes.
Yes. And as always, from before, if you want to talk to any of us, hit us up on Twitter at Cewsh Reviews, hit Artie at ArtieDeend, hit Julius at A Psycho Soldier. And, yeah, I guess that wraps up our first show back. I think we did a pretty good job. So, in the immortal words of our show, for now and forever. Oh, shit, I forgot what the ending is.
Have a good night. Don't forget to eat your dildos and burgers.
Yeah, dildos and crack. Yeah.
And stay classy. Don't
Yeah.
smoke crack.
Dildos and crack.